Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Akibatun lil Mustaqim. Wala Ukhwani ila ala dalimin. Muhammadin huwa Sayyidina Makbubina. Innahu kana Rasulan Nabiyan. Salawatu Allah Ta'ala wa salamu alayhi. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh lil ikwani wa akhwati fi din. Wassalamu ala mani taba huda lil ikwani wa akhwati fi Afrika wa Europa wa Asia wa Caribbean wa kulli makan. Halim wa salim bikum. My dear brothers and sisters, this is something that I thought about today, and I had remorse in propelling me to do this today, because not enough attention is paid to our sisters today, and encouraging them to excuse me, I'm trying to get to my okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Excuse me here. Trying to get. Excuse me. Trying to get Facebook on page. And okay. I don't know what's going on with my Facebook. It's looked like it's not registering here, and I don't know why it's not allowing me to change it. The Muslimah plays an important role in the house, especially establishing the salat, and not enough attention is paid to her. And even I am remorse about that as well. And I must ask my dear sisters for forgiveness, because I do not pay enough attention to their needs. And talking about, their roles and what they need to do, and answer some of their questions. Now and then I used to get some what I would call questions from the sisters, and but that has stopped now, and I'm really saddened that this has to be, and hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, we can remedy that to a certain degree, because this is important that we bring our sisters up to speed. And I will start here, because I thought about this today, and I've been thinking about it all day today, talking about our sisters. And as I was reading many books today on the issues of fiqh and whatnot, and the sister inside the house, not enough is paid attention to her. And she's an integral part, because she's the first teacher of the child. And we have dropped the ball as Muslim men in this regard. And so this is why I wanted to cover some things today about the Muslimah, to encourage her, and just to show that even I have forgotten about her needs to a degree. And I want to ask for forgiveness in that regard. So I will start here. The establishing the salat, excuse me, not this one here, that's for something else. Yeah. The best Muslim who establishes the salat in the house with the right intentions to gain favor from Subhannah wa ta'ala. Our dear sister, this is your time for me to talk about you. You must develop, nurture, and strengthen this intention, which I've been talking about for weeks, about the salat inside the house. Here inside the house, you have all the comforts. You're protected from the elements. No, the Subhanahu wa ta'ala is not asking you to run to the masjid 5 times per day in heavy winds, rain, or turbulent times out on the street, through traffic, through hot weather, and so forth and so on. Subhanahu wa ta'ala is not asking you for that. And that is a beautiful thing, because it allows you to comforts of your home where you can concentrate on the duties that you have inside the house, the children, your husband, and also with the importance of Subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's very difficult for you when you have to go from the house, travel a distance or whatever, in the car, walking to the masjid, going through people. There's fights on the street. There's things going on the street. There's wind. There's a lot of very, very hot weather, or very, very cold weather. And it's very difficult for you. And Subhanahu wa ta'ala is not required. That's why you get your best reward for praying inside the house. And you should thank Subhanahu wa ta'ala that he gave you this, because this is a blessing for you to be able to stay in your surroundings protected, and not allow for anybody to I guess what we call hurt you in any way. And so hopefully we can learn from this, and hopefully that my dear sister, that you forgive us, because in this turbulent world the men are encompassed with so many duties and so many trials and tribulations. But on the same token, you are too. You have your needs, and you have your questions and your desires, and they're not being met. And in many regards, this is very, very painful, because in modern times today, we know that the house has been established, the salat has been established by you in the house, which is a shame. It's not your responsibility to do that. But with your husband, he should be establishing the salat to assure that the house, that the salat is established correctly. But you, sister, if in an event you had a deadbeat husband, even though he's a Muslim, and it's up to you, you will get extra credit for establishing and reestablishing and strengthening that salat in the house by you picking up the books and you read. When he's derelict like this, he will pay for this in the hereafter, but you'll get greater reward. So you learn, and nothing's stopping you in this regard. You have YouTube, you have Google, you have so many different things at your disposal now to help you. So just remember that, my dear sister, that yes, you may be forgotten, but you know what? You won't be forgotten in the hereafter. Because Subhanahu wa ta'ala is looking out for you. He's given you basically 4 conditions, and they're not hard. They're easy to be met, and that you enter into Jannah. See, so you get rewarded. In this dunya, you may not be regarded, and you may be disregarded. But Subhanahu wa ta'ala has not disregarded you. So just remember that. And I'm encouraging my dear sisters to establish that salat inside the house, and make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do as a Muslimah. Even if that deadbeat husband of yours is not, don't follow his lead. You lead. And especially our black women, we have been doing this. They have been doing this for 400 years. So I'm asking something that's not foreign. We have been leading the household for 400 years. So this is not new. And hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, we'll have the men step up and to be real leaders of the home, especially in the United States, where it's needed desperately. We need this we need a transformation from our Muslim men outside the house, but inside the house as well. And we're not seeing that. Our Muslims are screaming, waiting for this to transpire, and they just have to be patient. One of the issues that I always see something that really warms my heart is when I see a young Muslim, our daughters, and we see our fathers taking care, and they are establishing the salat and iman inside the house. Even our youngest daughters are proud to be a Muslimah. And you see our little dear sister here dressed properly as a Muslimah, even though she's young, but she's already starting the family. No doubt the wife, she's not in the picture here, but no doubt she's played a heavy role in this. Look at the smile on this beautiful little girl here, our daughter here. And look at her, and you see the husband, he is proud to have his daughter a Muslimah. But we know that the credit is due to you. We know it's you who established, because the husband is basically, we know that the woman garners 75% of the love of the child. The husband plays a role, but a different role. But here we know, I can see the mother behind this here. I see him, yes, nurturing, but it's you, I know, that produced this beautiful little Muslimah. I know this. I can see this in her face. He's only reaping the benefits from that attention that you have given that beautiful little girl. So keep this good work up, my dear sisters. You're producing these Muslimas like this. And we know this is you here. We know this is you here. The man only is a recipient of your goodwill, and that you're developing these beautiful little girls. So we thank you for that. And I'm hoping that we have enough brothers who will concur with me and begin to thank our Muslimas for this, producing our children and bringing them up in an Islamic way. And this, because this is needed tremendously. And the other thing I want to say again is, little is paid to her needs in the house to be rightfully established as no pillar. And this is true, my dear brothers and sisters. Please forgive us. We are not doing what we need to do, and your needs are needed in house. I went through some of them the other day when I beg our brothers to give you what you want, if they can afford this. Give you beautiful abayas. Look at this little beautiful Muslimah here, our little daughter here. Look at her, and she's got nice clothing. And this is what this is the nature of the woman to have this. We want her to have the beautiful clothing. We want her to have the perfumes and the scented soaps, because this is you. This is you. You're different than a man, and this signifies your womanness, your Islam. And so the brother should provide you with this in order to produce these type of children and to produce a good Muslimah inside the house. That man should give you beautiful rugs, beautiful abayas. Our children, our little girls, provide them with the necessities and beautiful things to start them off early, like our little Muslimah here. Start her early in developing Islam, and give her things to develop her femininity. But again, it's not me or any man is establishing this. It's the woman, because we know the Muslimah, it's her, because she will watch our little Muslimah here watches the mother. She see how meticulous she is about her prayer. She see how she takes care of her body. She see how she beautifies herself inside the house. So she learns from that. I'm just a recipient of that when I hold her and see the smile on her face. Yes, she smiled to see her father, yes. But the ingredients to making her is the Muslimah. This is a simple fact, and so we should be proud that we have Muslimas producing beautiful little girls like this in Islam. This is very important. So, my dear brothers in Islam, I talk, and this is also for you as well, because I want you to pay attention. And yes, this is about our sisters, but it's you who nurture, because it's you responsible for the caretaking of our children. It's you. And so you provide and you do the best you can for what you can, what means you have to supply them and whatnot. But even at all costs, you invest in those beautiful clothes, invest in beautiful rugs for your children, your boy children and your daughters, and for your wife in particular, and you invest in them. They are one of our greatest investments, and you help them to establish the salat in the house, and also be proud and feel good about themselves. What bothers me, my brothers and sisters, as I alluded to earlier, our Muslims are not encouraged or discouraged from establishing the salat. We're not giving her impetus to do it, and nor are we discouraging her from it, as though that she is not really invisible, but she's not really cared for. And so therefore, this is why we have some problems in the house, because we have Muslimas who are not encouraged or discouraged, and because the man is not doing what he's supposed to do. So she is merely forgotten in the Muslim world. This is the fault of the ulama and the students of knowledge. I will say this, yes, it's the fault of the common brother too, but our ulama and fuqaha and our students of knowledge are not paying too much attention to the Muslimah. They are paying more attention to the general Muslim community at hand, because why? He's mostly outside dealing with the turbulent world, and when he comes inside the house, he lacks a lot of things, and he's not paying that close attention to her. Yes, he pays attention to certain aspects, but he's not giving her the impetus to encourage her to establish that slot. How can our sisters feel good in the house when you won't even invest even a couple of dollars in buying her a beautiful abaya, and then she see her daughter in need as well, and you won't invest there? When your wife, when you guys walk out of the house and maybe you go shopping, she may say, yeah, please, I like to buy, I saw this beautiful prayer rug, I would like this, and I saw the abaya with it, and it's not that expensive. I should try to go get it if I can do it. This will please her greatly. This will help her to establish that salat inside the house, because the woman is geared on eyesight and beauty, okay? Because she's beautiful, and so her nature is totally different than a man. The man's nature is rougher and so forth and so on. The woman's nature, the true woman's nature, is this way. So therefore, you give her things that signifies and to elevate and to nurture her femininity. And so you have to give these things to her in order for her to develop. And you must encourage her. When you know she's taking care of the house, and you know that she's taking care of the slot in the house, you have beautiful children, and you see how your daughters are, you see how your sons are, you give her the kudos, you talk to her, you take her out, and you show that you are proud of her. You go to the masjid and so forth and so on. And you go and you guys go together, and you show your gratitude towards your Muslim wife. You should do this. This goes a long way, brothers. This goes a long way. And you also get ajr for it, but also it encourages and it develops good behavior and relationships inside the house. This is very important, brothers. Very, very important. And I'm hoping that you take heed to this. And the Muslimah, she has special needs that must be addressed. There's a lot of things that are our sisters. We have a sister, maybe she just gave birth. Okay, so now we got the young baby inside the house. Okay, when can she begin her slot again? There's things that's happened. We have a woman who may have a troublesome, her cycle is troublesome. Or we have another lady who had birth, and maybe she's have incontinence a little bit now because she had a birth and she produced a big child. And so what happens and so forth and so on. I don't want to get deep into that, but these needs need to be addressed. And we have some women scholars who are addressing this. It's not for me to address these technical issues there, because it's delicate and so forth and so on. A woman is best to answer those questions. And not only that, another woman can ask us, then there's no shame in asking when she talks about spotting, or she has this, what should she do, and so forth and so on. These needs need to be addressed. We don't have enough of that. and she needs help in order to get up to speed on the issues of the Sharia, Allah Ta'ala, and the Sunnah of the Nabi. This is true. Alayhi salatu wasalam. We have to get her up to speed. Our husbands must do it. To do this, they must help our sisters to get up to speed on many issues. And many issues you can find today, in books and even online. You can put a question there and you'll find the answer to it. Since many of our sisters are derelict in faith due to the lack of knowledge and negative influences, our brothers inside the house, we have to watch and nurture our wives and protect them from the silliness and the craziness that's going on outside there. And when our sisters do not have the knowledge, you do not get on her for this, but you bring her up to speed to protect her, because when she goes outside, you'll have negligent, influences and negligent people around her, and they will try to influence her. We know what's happening in the Western world in particular, where the Western woman is trying to bring them out from Islam and bring them into the fold of kufr and shirk and into their world of debauchery and so forth and so on. So you have to protect her and you have to help her in her knowledge. This is your job, brothers. You must do this. However, the Quran Kareem is available for you to read. Sisters, you have a Quran in that house. Nobody's stopping you from picking it up. When you pick up that mushaf and you pick up that book and you begin to read it, even in the English language, and you are reading the transliteration of it, you are getting ajr for this. And Subhannah wa ta'ala sees that, and your books, they're written in there that you picked up the book and that you are getting credit for what you've read. And this is very important for you to pick up the book, because this is the essence of our religion. Don't let a deadbeat husband stop you from this, brothers. Sisters, please don't let them. You pick up that book and you read it, even if it's only a couple of minutes per day or a couple of minutes every other day, whatever your time is allotted, but pick it up and read it and get knowledge from it. And then go to the internet and seek out valuable scholars who can address these issues. And we have sisters now on YouTube, especially in the United States. I know we got beautiful sisters, who are scholars and whatnot, students of knowledge, and they are very knowledgeable. And they can answer a lot of questions, and so you just research for them, and you'll find them and whatnot. And this, I encourage you, please, to do that. Invest, or have your husband and family invest in books like the Hadiths. You go to your husband and say, "Hey, look, yeah, please, when you go to the Islamic bookstore, can you get us the Bukhari? Can you give us Ibn Majah? Can you give us the Sunnah of Dawood?" And ask him to buy these books. So that way you will have access to these books. He will invest in those books and put those books inside the house for you to read, and so forth and so on. Now, let me say this to you, my dear sisters. Those sisters who are working outside the house, perhaps you may have to invest in that on your own. Maybe you have a situation where your husband may not be working. I must be fair. And so perhaps you may have the extra money where you can go buy these books. They're not that expensive. And you bring them inside the house to get you caught up to speed. And they have many issues in there. And they talk about some of the issues I just talked about here. And you can read some of that on your own. And so you may have to do the investment on your own. Unfortunately, this happens. And so, you do it because you will get rewarded for this. And let me say to you, my dear sisters, patience and perseverance should be instituted, beseeching Subhanahu wa ta'ala for your comfort, protection, and victory in this turbulent world. You constantly do this. Constantly, my brothers and sisters. My sisters today, you be patient and persevere. Beseech Subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you the protection, to strengthen your husband so he can protect you and the family. If you're not married, you beseech him to ask him for the right man to come into your life that will protect you and who will nurture you and provide for you and provide you with good children, and also make you steadfast in the religion. You ask Subhanahu wa ta'ala, beseech him in this. You get this reward, inshallah, when he wills it. But you have to do your part in order to get this barakah from Subhanahu wa ta'ala. You must establish that salat in the house. And you must do it well. When you do this, my dear sisters, then Subhanahu wa ta'ala will open up many things for you. It may not be right away, but it will come, inshallah ta'ala. You only hope for this. My dear sisters, don't let apathetic Muslimas, modern Muslim women, or even other type of women who are wayward influence you. This is happening to too many of our sisters because why? Because they're neglected inside the house. The deadbeat husband is not doing what he's supposed to do. Our sister goes outside the house. She meets with her friends who are Muslims, but they're modern. And they begin to bring them away from Iman. And we know this is happening tremendously. Or we know that the non-Muslim women go after them to tell them to loosen up, to, hey, look, he's at work till 6 o'clock. Why don't you come with us? I know a place we can go drink coffee, and there's a lot of men there. These things are happening. So don't get influenced by them, because Subhanahu wa ta'ala will be angry with you. Even if you're angry with your husband inside the house and he's wayward, don't follow the path to hell. And when these wayward women come to you, they're trying to lead you. And maybe this is a test from Subhanahu wa ta'ala, my dear sister. He may be testing you to see what you're going to do. He may bring these women in your life to see if they can ferret you out of your house and then make you like them. And he'll test you. And if you weather the storm, you'll get credit for this. See, so just be mindful of that, my brothers and my sisters. Please be mindful of that. Now, one of the issues I will say to you that we have beseeching sisters today because they are so angry because they're neglected. We have beautiful, beautiful Black women, in particular, Arab women, and even Asian women who are in the house establishing the prayers. They are being beseeched by the devil and by his minions, the shayateen, and also by devilish women. And these Muslims are being taken from their house. We need to reestablish our fathers, the pops inside the house. You have a beautiful daughter like this here, this Muslimah here. You must, if she's still in the house, she's still under your protection. You must protect her. You must protect her beauty and her Islam. You must not let her fall prey to these apathetic Muslims, these modern Muslim women who walk around without a hijab. They walk around with miles of perfume and stuff where you can smell the perfume so many miles away. And you know what our Prophet ﷺ said about this? You must protect our Muslims from this. He said he called them harlots. So be mindful of that, my dear sisters. But you protect her, especially all our sisters. And we have sisters that are very beautiful and not being protected. We must protect them. We must protect them, and we must keep them protected from the outside influences. And remember, my dear brothers and sisters, and our sisters in particular, you see here, we have an Asian family here, our sisters in Islam, and you see our mother here. She's got her, look at our beautiful Muslims here. They are sitting, they're correct in the role of prayer here. You see how they meticulously dressed. Our sisters, you must protect that, irrespective of all the negative influences, irrespective of a deadbeat husband. You are still responsible for this. You protect that. You beautify yourself. You beautify yourself before the salat. You be proud that you are a Muslimah, that Subhanahu wa ta'ala made you this way. You cover according to the Sharia and the sunnah of our Prophet, and you look at the companions and their wives, you look at the wives of the Prophet, you look at the wives of our favorite generation, and you go by that, and then you protect your Islam. So when you make your prayer, you look similar to this, that you protect it according to the Sharia. And you see how this is, even our little girl here, even our little daughter here, you see her, she's even now being influenced as well. So this will carry on when she gets older. When she gets the older of her older sister, she'll already have this instilled in her. This is important, brothers and sisters, especially our sisters, to maintain this, to encourage this, even for our little daughters, to maintain it. Don't fall influence under this type of thing, and to make sure that you keep the Islam in your heart and to keep it viable. And also, like I said, we have the sister, our beseeching sister. She's troubled. She's hurting. She's neglected. She's not being cared for. And we know many times inside the house, she shed tears. This is the time to shed the tears, my dear sisters. We know, and especially when everything's quiet. Maybe you have the baby sleeping. Maybe you got your daughters and sons, they're at school. And now it's time for you to make prayer and so forth and so on. You beseech Subhannah wa ta'ala. You ask him for your protection. You ask for the betterment of the Muslim community, but you ask for the betterment of the house. And if your husband is weak, you ask that he be strengthened, and that you ask Subhanahu wa ta'ala to strengthen you as well. And if the tears must flow, that you get credit for that. Let them flow, because you have the sincerity of the house. You have in your heart, and you're protected inside your house. You not vulnerable for people to see you. There's not prying eyes of men looking at you. So you pray, you beseech Subhanahu wa ta'ala, you shed the tears, and you beseech him, and so forth and so on, because we know many Muslims, your hearts are heavy. We understand that, and you're not being properly cared for. So please forgive us, Muslim men, who are not doing the job that we should be doing. And my dear sisters, please forgive us for this, because many of us, and me included, we get forgot about things of our sisters and so forth and so on, and we forget about the special needs and the special emotional needs that you desire from us, and we're not doing it. And so I just asked for forgiveness, because I thought of this all day, and I felt shame, because I said, I'm not spending any time really getting into the heart of matter about our sisters inside the house. And one of the important roles is the establishment of the salat. Yes, taking care of the family is important, but the salat, because your priority is your relationship with Subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so I haven't been spending enough time talking about that, and I'm negligent for that. And so that's why I've asked for forgiveness, because I have not talked about that, but I'm talking about some of it today. And I'm hoping that I reach some of our dear sisters in this, and that say that I'm here to talk about the issues, and also to help guide you and to help nurture your iman, and for you to establish that salat in the house, because that salat in the house is something else. Subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it so good for you that you have the perfect surroundings for you inside that house. You're protected. You don't have to worry about some man looking at you. You don't have to worry about the elements outside, as I said before. You are now protected. You don't have to brave the hot sun. You don't have to brave the cold or the wind or the traffic and so forth and so on. You are in your surroundings, and this is you and Subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have this prayer here, and the angels who are writing in your books. And this is a beautiful thing for you, my dear sisters, because you deserve this. You are the caretakers of our Islam. Here we got a young Muslimah, and we got a little girl here, and even though she's not a hijab right here, but she doesn't have to have hijab all through the house. We're talking about during the prayer time. We have to do this. But here I like this picture, because I see something perhaps others may not be seeing. I always see the cheerful little girl like this. I know there's a mother behind this. It's a mother who nurtured this little girl to be cheerful. We understand it's not the man. The man is only the recipient of it. but we know it's the sister who's got these little girls and made them to be honorable and to bring that joy and bring that smile to their face. This is the mother who's doing this. It's not the father, it's the mother. But the father must nurture this. He must give his little daughter and his older daughters too, and the son, the things they need to nurture that. We want our sons to be handsome too. We want our sons to feel that they are princes, or they are prince, that they are they are valuable, and because they'll be the caretakers of the family, inshallah, bi'ithnillah. But I look at the pictures like this, and I'm happy that I see the little Muslimah. She's happy, she's smiling. I know the sisters behind that. So this is why I like these pictures like this to emphasize that, because without that nurturing and care, we don't have that. We don't have this type of care that we see here. So my dear sisters, don't forget, please establish that salat. And remember something I talked about here the other day. Incorporate the sunnah prayers as well, to add to your ajr with Subhannah wa ta'ala. And what I will recommend for you to do is we'll start with the salat al-door, okay, the first afternoon prayer. I suggest the 4 rakats. All of this is sunnah. The 4 rakats before salat al-door. You do 2 and you do 2, and you finish with the shahud and then the taslim, and then you go to make your salat for the door. After door, you make 2 rakats, the tashahud and the taslim, and you finish. Salat al-asr, I'll leave that up to you. As you heard me talk about the other day in my class, it is an approved ibadah. You can make the 4 or 2, because the Prophet ﷺ did do it, but he did not establish this as a sunnah because he did it irregularly. It was reported that he did do it because we have viable witnesses, and the hadiths are Hassan, so they're okay. We can use that. And so if you want, you establish before Asr prayer, you can do 4. You get the greatest credit for that, or you can do 2. But you don't have to do that. This is not the established sunnah. Okay, this is not the stressed sunnah, but you can get the extra credit for it. Then Salat al-Maghrib. My suggestion to you is, if you can do this, you do 2 rakats before Salat al-Maghrib, okay, before Salat al-Maghrib, okay, after the adhan, okay, of course, after the adhan, you do 2 rakats, and then you do your prayer, and then you finish with 2 rakats for that. And then Isha prayer, I suggest to you, if you have this in you, then you can do 2 again before Salat Isha, and then you do 2 after. And this is what I recommend for you, my dear sisters, those who can do it, and you get a lot of ajr for this and whatnot. But again, like I said, I'm hoping that I've touched you today in your heart, where you will see how your importance, even though I'm only one person, I'm showing you my importance, giving you this to help you, to encourage you to continue the good work. And I'm troubled a lot by especially our impressionable teenage and young women, like I talked about here. I'm very troubled because we have many of them who are being led astray and taken advantage of because our fathers, the pops inside the house, didn't take care, and so forth and so on. And we have beautiful Muslims not being taken care of, and they are gone astray, or they just don't know what to do. No one is talking to them to help them, and so many of them are left to their own disguise. But even though with that, I would beg our sisters, our most impressionable sisters, our sisters who have been deemed beautiful by the community, to be very mindful. Don't let the devil enter to your heart to make you to expose your beauty to the common man. Don't do that. You wait until your proper time when you marry, and then you give yourself to your husband. But there's influences, we know that. You're walking to school and you're a beautiful Muslimah, and some punk walks up on you, or there's somebody and they constantly tell you how beautiful you are, you're only human being, you are a woman. These things weigh on you. We understand that, and they make the heart, good. But you have to remember something: the devil may enter. Next thing you know, you're sitting in a coffee shop with a man you should not be sitting with, and things happen. We know that the devil, they say, when you're alone with another person with the opposite sex, if there's a woman and a man, the third person there is the devil. So be mindful of that, my dear sisters. Be mindful of that, please. Our young, impressionable daughters, we know that have a special physical, attraction, that we must protect them and keep them protected. And like this here, we see our brother here, he's hopefully when she gets older, our beautiful Muslimah like this will be protected. So that way she know the value of her beauty, that her beauty is not for sale, that you can't buy her with a cup of, with McDonald's or some candy or some flowers. You can't buy her beauty and for her to uncover her beauty. Our men must protect our Muslimas as well, protect her from this type of man. So he must educate along with the wife, but he is a man. He knows the guys and he knows the cade, the trickery of the man to fool the Muslimah so he can get what he wants. So it's important for him to take also his daughter in his wing to protect her and to protect her from these types of chumps and punks like this on the street who will try to take her beauty from her. It's your job, brother, to protect our Muslimas. We don't have enough of that today. That's why we have Muslimas running all over the place. They leave the house, the husband, the pops in the house, don't even say nothing. It's nighttime, she's gone. She leaves her hijab inside the house, and she goes like she's a disbeliever, and she goes to the nightclubs. And we have brothers not saying anything to that. And then when they get in trouble, then they sit there and try to blame her for it. Yes, she is, but you should have stepped up and trained her from the beginning and protected her. So we must protect this. We must protect this, brothers. We must protect. She is a valuable asset. She is a commodity. She's a treasure. You must protect her from this. It's your job, brothers, and you'll be held responsible for this. You'll be held responsible, because I don't want a day of judgment coming to me and Subhannah wa ta'ala, the angels come and ask me questions. Look, you have your daughter here. Why didn't you protect her from these punks out on the street? Why you didn't train her? Why you didn't talk to her? Why you let her go out at nighttime to go with these wayward women and so forth and so on? Why you allow her to remove her hijab inside the house, remove her hijab and then leave the house without her hijab because it's nighttime? These are the type of things, the brothers, you're going to get sanctioned for in the hereafter. So, please be aware of that, my brothers and sisters. And so I will conclude here with this short talk. And my brother and sisters, I as I said before, it weighed heavy on my heart today, especially with me not giving enough credence and care to the Muslimah in general. Okay, talking about her needs in open forum like this. But today, I'm hoping I did establish some things, and I do talk in reference to her, but I did not have any classes, not anything directed toward except this today. And so she deserves this attention, because without her, our Muslimah, the Ummah Muslimah today, the Muslim community is weak. And a lot of this is attributed because men are not doing what they're supposed to do to protect the family, and we're allowing our women folk to be influenced from the negative influences from outside and from Shaitan. So we have to step up in that regard. And our dear sisters, and I'll close with this, our dear sisters, please forgive me for not doing these things that, to have enough pay attention to your needs as a Muslimah, and to talk about things like this, because you are an important commodity in this case, because we both, the man and woman, are important commodities. But it's you who establish the salat inside the house, especially in the children, because a lot of times your husband has gone out to work. So you have to establish that salat. And remember something, my dear sisters, when you show up, when you get ready to do your prayer, beautify yourself. Don't go in half-hearted and just say, okay, I got to make my prayer, and you don't care. Make a good wudu. Put on a beautiful abaya. Put your hijab on. Make sure everything is meticulous according to the Sharia, and you do your prayers. And the sooner prayers you add that repertoire to you for you, inshallah ta'ala. And if you can, the night prayers, if you can do it, because we know you caretake the family, especially when you got little children, you got to get them ready for school. It's not easy to get up at 1-2 hours before Salat al-Fajr and make the tahajjud prayers. Very difficult. We understand that. But even if you can get up 20 minutes before you make 2 rakats, that's a beautiful thing. Just try to make the effort and make the intention that you want to do that. Subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you for that, my dear sisters. So, my dear sisters, please forgive me again for not paying attention to you in my talks too much. So today I covered a section for you, and I'm hoping that you get something out of this today as I did, and that we can work together in this, because without you, our dear sisters, without you inside that house, without you establishing salat inside the house, we're in dire straits. So we need you now to step up as well in this turbulent world that we have today. We need you to step up, and we need you to establish that prayer inside the house, to put Subhanahu wa ta'ala inside that house. Even if you got a derelict husband, you keep Subhanahu wa ta'ala, because your prayer will bring the angels in there, and Subhanahu wa ta'ala will hopefully guide your husband back to the right way. If not, then even though it's not the way it is, you have, there's things, I don't want to get into that, but you establish that prayer. Don't let him take you down with him. Just because he's derelict, don't you be derelict. Okay, my brothers and sisters, and I'll leave you with the beautiful words of Jannah. Salamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.